If you didn't already know, that super crazy Nintendo Switch holiday season eShop sale is underway, and there are so many games, it's near impossible to find the ones that are the best to pick up and purchase. Have no fear though, Super eShop Man is here! Super eShop Man, finding great sales whenever he can. There's a TM on that, by the way, just FYI. Last time we did $0 to $5. You can check out that video already on the channel. Today we're going $5 to $9.99, and I actually have 30 gem picks for you. Each one of these games is great, and in no particular order, we're gonna go through the best ones to buy and who they're for. Let me know in the comments down below, which ones you wanna buy, which ones you recommend, and let's hit this list. All sales end on December the 4th. I said no particular order, but we're kicking it off with an absolute golden oldie. Portal Companion Collection is $6.79, and yeah, at this point, these games are old. But you get Portal 1 and Portal 2. The second game has a great co-op mode, two of the best puzzlers ever on Nintendo Switch with Valve Charm, which we don't get all that often. I love Portal, and you can play this solo, or you can play this co-op. Both are excellent. It's a must-buy. Immortals Phoenix Rising for $8.99 is Zelda Breath of the Wild done by Ubisoft. That's the pitch. The game released at $60. It was quality then. It's even more quality now at $8.99. There's a ton of DLC you can grab for cheap if you're interested, but if you've maxed out Tears of the Kingdom and are looking for something adjacent but a little bit different with its own focus, heavy focus on combat and mythology, Immortals Phoenix Rising is perfect for you. I cannot believe Doom Eternal is $9.99, sub $10 for one of the best Twitch shooters ever made. Doom Eternal somehow runs on Switch thanks to the magic of magical porting. It doesn't look as good as its console counterparts, but it plays excellently on a Pro controller, and I freaking love this game. It is challenging, it is gross, and it is an excellent FPS adventure. Monster Train First Class, you know we had to throw some card-based roguelites in there, and this is one of them for $7.49. An excellent game set upon a train full of monsters. There's not much more to it except you are pushing back against all these monsters and protecting your train cars. They continue to throw more and more difficult challenges at you, and I love the cards. If you're any sort of fan of Slay the Spire, SteamWorld Quest, any of these types of games, Monster Train First Class is for you. Subnautica Below Zero is a deep, icy ocean adventure where you will first-person try to survive your way through the waters and weird happenings of this strange new world. $9.89. These games came to Switch pretty recently, and I think they're really fun, immersive adventures, especially if you're more of a survival game fan. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy is $10. That's a trilogy, so that's $3.33 per game. If you like taking it to them in the courtrooms, you're a fan of Better Call Saul, or you like investigating your surroundings, these are wonderful titles. There's all sorts of collections from Phoenix Wright and Capcom on the Switch, but this one clocks in at the lowest price, and I like it for sub $10. New Super Lucky's Tale is $8.99, and while it's clearly not as good as, say, Mario Odyssey, it is a really nice, nifty 3D platformer with some twists and turns of its own. First off, you're a fox. The moveset is different. Second off, there's a lot of variety in the types of levels. You've got traditional 3D platformers, 2D platformers, and auto-run stages. It's kind of combining a lot of the tropes of platformers from the modern era with a pretty good set of controls. I like this one a lot. I will let you know I was sponsored when I first made the video, but I recommend the game wholeheartedly on its own outside of that. Just wanted to be upfront. Burnout Paradise Remastered, one of the classic racers of all time. Open world cars crashing into each other. Can I say more? I could, but for $5.99 I really shouldn't have to. This is a very cheap price for a great car racer that is more about exploring the world and completing all the different challenges, seeking out 100%, and enjoying some super great soundtrack tunes. Into the Breach, $7.49. Turn-based tactics as you try and predict what will happen next. But wait, they tell you. That's the quirk of this game. You know what's going to happen in the subsequent turn, and it's still challenging as all heck to survive because the buggy enemies here push you to the limit. No bug spray in sight, just a bunch of different mechs and different loadouts for you to unlock and engage with. It's a great game, an indie gem, and a perfect price. Loop Hero is $5.24. Very weird price there, but also a very weird game. Your character will be going in a loop over and over again, and it's up to you to keep them alive. Got a little bit of Vampire Survivors in there, but with a little more strategy, I would say, and a little less action. This one's about going in a loop, but finding the perfect combination of attributes and attacks so that you can persist. I like this one a lot on PC. I've never played it on Switch. I hope the port runs well. Hot Wheels Unleashed is $7.49. If you're tired of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and an open world racer doesn't sound like your style, then Hot Wheels Unleashed is sort of realistic but unrealistic, sort of kart racy but not really weapons. It's its own thing. It's not as good maybe as its counterparts, but I wanted to include it on the list because there is a sequel out, and I just like the idea of playing Hot Wheels. Forza used a lot of really cool collabs with Hot Wheels to its advantage, and this is the closest you'll get on Switch. If you're a fan of cars but like them with a little more pizzazz than normal, this one's for you. Forager for $6.99 is the airport game. If you're traveling this holiday season, this is the one to get addicted to make the time pass. It saved me many times from many delayed flights, and once you know it, in a blink of an eye, I was on that plane and my islands were expanding. Forager starts with a very simple premise of just gathering, collecting, and advancing, but it's all about moving everything forward that is so darn satisfying. Cute little characters, not a ton of combat, but the main idea here is just to expand and progress, and for some reason that feels fantastic for hours on end. Mega Man X Legacy Collection compiles a lot of my Mega Man favorites from my youth. $7.99 for a whole bunch of Mega Man action. You know what this game's about. Blue Bomber fires blue pellets and tries to defeat the bosses in order to suck up their soul. That's it. It's worth it. Go grab it. Bword. Not sure if we're allowed to say that on YouTube. $8.99. This is an interesting game. A bit of a roguelite first-person shooter where you're landing on ships and trying to suck out all the rewards you can while completing your mission. That mission would be to take down your targets with a cel-shaded art style. It's kind of like bite-sized Borderlands in a very confined space. I think that's the best 1 second pitch for Bword. Katana Zero needs no introduction. If you followed this channel for any length of time, you've heard me sing the praises of my favorite Switch indie. I don't think it gets any better than this. That's all you need to know. $8.99, you're in for a treat. Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time for $7.49. Sounds like some sort of point-and-click adventure or a very sappy tale, but instead, it's you and your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your friend or your grandma or your kid or maybe your puppy if they're really advanced, trying to fly a spaceship together. Simple premise, great execution, really fun couch co-op. Superliminal, another one of those Portal-like puzzlers. It's $9.99, and while I'd prefer Portal Companion Collection, if you've played, beat, and exhausted those, Superliminal is really good. It merges unique ideas, no portals, but all sorts of dealing with the size of objects and the perspective. It's really, really well done, and I love it for under $10. Paradise Killer is $7.99, and I've never played this one. I've seen great things. I meant to play it at launch. I never got around to it, and it's about exploring an island trying to solve a murder. It's like that one episode of The Office, but with a lot more mohawk. I think I'll pick this one up myself, so I guess we'll try it out together. But like I've said, I've heard nothing but good things, so I don't think you can go wrong. Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville is $5.99, and this marked the death knell of the Garden Warfare franchise. They didn't even use the Garden Warfare name. Shame on them. I think they could have succeeded if maybe they did, but this one has plenty for $5.99, including an expanded single-player mode. I don't know if you're going to find anybody on the multiplayer servers, but that's okay. For $6, it's worth it just to see the freaking pea shooter return and a whole bunch of new classes as well. Castle Crashers Remastered for $7.49. I played this game 20 years ago. Xbox Live Arcade golden oldie. This one remastered for Nintendo Switch. It's the perfect arcade game for you and a couple buddies to pass a holiday evening. You can beat it in one sitting. That's what's fun about it. It's got a lot of great boss battles, memorable moments, and just insane encounters. $7.49, a great price. Unsighted for $9.99, that's 50% off its $20 price point, and another game that I haven't played, but I should have. I meant to play this one as it is an action RPG with crazy art, great combat, and I think it has a whole lot of choice, crafting, upgrading, even co-op, boss rush, dungeon raids. It's got a ton of content. I really should have played this one before, but I'm going to grab it now. If you're interested in tackling this with me, let's go. Shante and the Pirate's Curse is $9.99, and you know I was jonesing for that Shante GBA sequel that's being made in 2024 after they resurrected the team from eons ago. Shante is a really cool platformer who uses her hair and her hips to take down her foes. Always a lot of great art and crispy controls from Way Forward. And if you're interested in that GBA pseudo-sequel I mentioned before or saw at the Indie World, this is a great way to introduce yourself to the franchise. Epic screen-filling bosses. It's a great game. Borderlands, the Handsome Collection for $9.99 packs in a ton of Borderlands for under $10. Borderlands 3 is my favorite in the franchise, but if you've played that or want to spend less, this is going to give you a ton of content, and you can still experience and enjoy the Borderlands gameplay loop of, hey, go out and shoot, get a bunch of crazy guns, min-max your loadout, and do it again. Epic boss battles, tons of quests, lots of gameplay. I love this franchise. Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon, similarly for $9.99, expands the Shovel Knight franchise for Yacht Club Games. They somehow made Shovel Knight their own Mario, and this is another good twist on the formula. Whereas Shovel Knight itself was more Mega Man, Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon